touch it because when you look into the story, the real villain is Joy Taylor. And I don't say that with any sort of...
What is up, world? Welcome back, Charge the Game podcast. And Jason Whitlock has a very interesting take on Joy Taylor, on how she has not seemed to be catching any flack from any of these other media outlets. And he's here to explain why. Make sure you guys get in here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, thumbs up, like the video. Let's go.
So you look at this lawsuit and you say, wow, this is everything the New York Times dreams about. This lawsuit speaks the toxicity and the negative ramifications of the patriarchy. Look at these women and how they were exploited by these white men. This is the stuff the New York Times dreams about. And the question I'm asking now, what is it, 10 days later? Why is the New York Times, why have they avoided this story?
Now that right there is something that all of us have been left scratching our heads. And I'm sure that you guys have your own thoughts just like myself. But I'm just wondering, man, like if this were, let's say, a man in this position, maybe a black man in this position, guys, you know, like let's talk realistically. If this were a man in this position in general, right, how would this story be covered? Why is it that the only people that are keeping this lawsuit, this sex scandal alive and refreshing it every single day, especially in the comment section, I think it's just the people on social media, content creators like myself. Jason Whitlock actually has the courage to go against the grain and go at anybody who's coming at him because he keeps exposing certain truths, right? And as he continues to talk, you guys are going to see his perspective, and it's actually going to make you guys think, like, come on, man, like, why is this being swept under the rug? Now, we do know that there are a lot of powerful people. I mean, as old as Skip Bayless is, the Charlie Dixon guy, these guys know how to make sure things, you know, get swept under the rug. I'm quite sure a lot of hush money is going to be involved, but let's just keep going.
Go punch it into Google and see what has the New York Times written about this story.
Wow.
Nothing. There's one article you'll find where some person that's an editor for The Athletic, which the New York Times own, has written a piece about it. And it was written for The Athletic, and it was just basically aggregation of what had been written by others.
You have to also keep in mind that the owner of Fox, for the most part, this 90-year-old billionaire, he didn't get to billionaire status without doing good business. So I would imagine that some of the, you know, most upper echelon media companies and outlets, they're going to respect him. And when you're 90 years old with that type of money, you have a lot of power. And you have the power to make things go away. That's the only thing I can think of, especially a guy that knows how the business is. They know that a lot of these women, 9 times out of 10, are going to do what they have to do to get to where they need to be. And, you know, without saying it, you guys got to kind of understand that maybe some of these high-end billionaires probably they probably had moments where they partook or were partaking in some of these situations, should I say, right? So I think that has a lot to do with why New York Times and these super gigantic media or companies that, you know, release articles every day, why this isn't being discussed. Well, let's keep going.
No one's trying to further this story. Where are the think pieces from the great elite leftist media organizations, particularly the New York Times? This is their fantasy. They hate Rupert Murdoch. They hate Fox. Rupert Murdoch and Fox are supposed to be the antithesis of everything that's wrong with the world and what's wrong with the white male patriarchy. Not a word from the New York Times. And you have to ask why.
He just said something about, you know, these leftists they should love stuff like this, right? That's what he just said. But you also have to understand that Joy Taylor, who did she endorse? Who was she public about endorsing? And what does she stand for? So at the end of the day, man, the things that Joy Taylor stands for is going to keep her protected, especially in a time and era where it's all about feminism. Women don't want to see another woman look like a slut. It is what it is. They can't fathom Joy Taylor really being guilty of this, which a lot of people kind of feel and sense that this is the truth, because this is just the mindset of most modern women nowadays. Not all women, I will reiterate, not all women. Don't want to be a misogynistic or narcissist. What they don't want is for Joy Taylor to pretty much be what most of men think of women nowadays, and the gender wars and the discrepancies that go into that. That's why Jason Whitlock is saying that it ties into everything on why this hasn't been mentioned and why nobody is covering this, right? They're just sweeping this under the rug. But it gets very interesting. Let's keep going.
You can't touch it because when you look into the story, the real villain is Joy Taylor. And I don't say that with any sort of delight or any sort of animus. I don't dislike Joy Taylor. As I told you all last week, I was just wise enough to say, nah, you need to be careful, Whitlock. Joy is a recipe for destruction for you. Proceed with caution.
Now, I want to ask you guys, do you feel like what Jason Whitlock just said, there's a little bit of truth and validity in that? They don't want Joy Taylor to be looked at as a villain. And you see this across everything. I mean, unfortunately, in society, men do get the short end of the stick. You call the police and it's domestic violence, the police are going to immediately look at who? The man, right? So Joy Taylor, this this nice skin complexion, she obviously has the double D size breast, and she looks like this, this golden girl that quote unquote got it out the mud. Well, this image that she's falsely, let's just be honest, that she's falsely created through the camera. They don't want to look at Joy Taylor as the person that really is guilty of sleeping with multiple men at the same time to get to where she needs to get to in her sports broadcasting career. You see this all the time with majority of women, especially on social media. When there's a post calling out women, you see, and it's the truth, if you go in the comment section, you see more men commenting than women. Even when women know that another woman is guilty of something, women are going to stick together because a lot of women, what do you think? They relate to that, unfortunately. Now, in their mind, and like I said, this isn't all, most women nowadays, in their mind, they're like, girls got to make a living. She has to do what she has to do. Y'all don't know what she's going through. Y'all don't know why. It's all these excuses to keep Joy Taylor from not looking like the villain. You see all these guys out here simping for Joy Taylor because they want to smash. It is what it is. They want to smash, and it's a reason why Joy Taylor, in my opinion, why she can't keep a man. Okay, I mean, if Joy Taylor has all of the credentials to be married, I wonder why she can't be. I mean, I'm being honest, guys. I'm not trying to attack Joy Taylor, but you guys have to just look at it from a different perspective sometimes. And sometimes perspectives aren't true either, but it's okay to look at them.
For that's trouble. You should stay away from it. Big cans, peanut butter, blah, blah. I'm not going to rehash that because I'm not doing this for giggles at this point.
I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's certain women that give off like natural promiscuous type of vibes, but man, Joy Taylor, man, we know. Okay, if you got eyes and you're a traditional man, stand up guy, you just got to call it like you see it, all right? Joy Taylor is well aware of her sex appeal and the things that she has to do to keep that sex appeal.
They can't touch it, and the New York Times won't expose this story and dive into what does this really mean, because Joy Taylor is the actual villain in this story so far. The way the allegations are laid out, the way Nusheen explained the allegations.
Wow.
It's actually the half black, half white woman who claims to be a black woman who is the villain. And the New York Times and mainstream media, they don't allow black women to be the villain.
Now, what have we seen across sports, the news? I mean, if you guys watch any type of sports or politics, man, we live in a time now where love them to death, but talking about a black woman is a no-no. It's a no-no because you're going to be called a racist. you could ruin your career. So I mean, I'm in favor of the sisters. I gotta give it to them. But what has that created? It has created things being sensitive and people not wanting to expose or talk about the truth. And that's exactly what Jason Whitlock is calling out here on why this story is being swept under that rug, baby.
They don't allow any accountability for black women. Black women are a new segment of the chosen one and the chosen group and the perpetual victims that no one can question.
And this is why a lot of people did not want you know who in office, because they have a fear that, hey, you know, all of this she, her pronoun shit, right? You know, you guys are well aware of what's going on around the world, I would hope. This type of stuff, including the DEI, massive DEI movement, it has created a lot of this. It has created a lot of unqualified people, whether you are black or white or just another minority of any other nature, right? It has created not being able to hire the best of the best, forcing people to hire things and make sure that the metrics. One thing about corporate America, when something is set in place, these metrics have to match. They have to go out and say, hey, we got 10% increases on minorities this year, or else the company is in trouble. And what has happened is it has caused a lot of companies to go out of business. It has caused a lot of false fabrications in the news cycle, this gender war stuff, this race baiting things. It has just taken its toll over the whole world, in my opinion. And I agree with Jason Whitlock, man. Like back in the day, you could be able to talk about uncomfortable things and go after the woman the same way you would go after a man. I mean, we see it every day in the justice system. 9 times out of 10, man works hard. He's going to have to give up more than half of his assets, especially to most women who don't bring as many assets or much assets to the table. There are certain situations where women have to pay alimony or allocate certain riches because, you know, they are better than the man in a relationship, or financially better than a man in a relationship. So guys, I just want you guys to understand what Jason Whitlock is saying here and why you see down here woke media avoiding Joy Taylor. And he's saying that it all ties into the main thing.
They've been grafted into that chosen one family that's untouchable. Because if you criticize them, oh my God, it's an affront to God to criticize the black woman. And everybody must devote their lives to the elevation of black women.
Now, I understand that there are probably going to be a lot of brothers and sisters that run across this video. What I would ask is that you guys listen with your minds first before you jump to, oh, y'all don't like sisters or this or that, or like, but if you do think that way, you're literally proving the point of this video and Jason Whitlock's point in this video. This is a different perspective. It may be a little truth in here. It may be a little biased. It may be a little bit more opinionated than you would like, but all you can do is open up your minds and just listen. Okay? Just listen. I'm not making this video to go at community. I'm not making this video as in, you know, my community is, you know, the less of the less, but there are certain truths that we have to just call out. We just have to, guys.
That's the new religion that's been created in America in particular. And so the New York Times can't touch this story because Joy Taylor, if you read the allegations and has someone that has spent some time working at Fox Sports and knew everybody involved, yeah, that don't sound far-fetched. From what I saw, what I witnessed, what I experienced, that don't sound crazy.
So there you guys have it. Jason Whitlock comes to spill the beans and expose what has been happening. You know, not only at Fox Sports, the story is not being covered the way that it normally would be. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts and your opinions on this. Drop those comments in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah.